In this video, you will learn about observations, predictions, and inferences. Observations are facts collected using your five senses. A fact is something that must be true. Your sense of sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell help you to make those observations. For example, based on this photo, you can observe that kids are playing soccer. There are two people in orange standing in the background. The teams are wearing purple or blue uniforms, and there's one soccer ball on the field. Of course, you can make many more observations. These are just some examples. Observations can be classified into two categories. Qualitative observations are facts that describe using words only. For example, you might say that the apple is red and it has a green stem. Notice that there are no numbers or measurements in this observation. There are only describing words. Quantitative observations are facts that describe using numbers or measurements. For example, you might say that there are 2 apples and 1 is cut in half. Notice the numbers 2 and 1 in this observation. Let's go back to the previous photograph. Which of these observations are qualitative and which are quantitative? Pause for a moment to think about this. If you said observations 1 and 3 were qualitative because they only included words, and observations 2 and 4 are quantitative because they included numbers, you are correct. Pause for a moment to write down this information in your science workbook on page 5. Once you've made observations, they can lead you to make inferences and predictions. An inference is a conclusion based on your observations. It attempts to explain how or why something happened. It's important to note that your inference may not always be correct, but it is a logical conclusion. For example, from this scene, you might infer that the girls love to play soccer, that it's really hot outside, or that they are playing after school. We're not really sure if any of those are correct, but they are logical. On the other hand, predictions attempt to explain what will happen next or in the future. From this scene, you might predict that the purple team will win the game, or there will be a penalty during the game. Both explain what will happen in the future. Again, we're not sure if either is correct, but they are both logical. Remember that predictions and inferences must be based on your observations and must be logical. Your inference or prediction might be different than someone else's or turn out to be incorrect. Pause for a moment to write down this information on page 5 in your science workbook. We can make observations about anything around us. In the next photo, make some observations, predictions, and inferences. No need to write anything down, this is just practice. From this photograph, what do you observe? Which of them are qualitative observations and which are quantitative? What inferences and predictions can you make? You will talk about this information and more in your next science class.